To quote the great Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, this is a
Mm.
story about control. What the Flames can control, one game at a time. The numbers are not on Calgary's side, and the Flames know it. But they will not be going quietly into the night. In one of their final home games of the regular season, the Flames get back in the win column with a 4-1 win against the Anaheim Ducks. Dustin Wolf now 3-0 against Anaheim this season, but it seems like it's kind of all about silver linings at this point. I'm Cami. He's Kent. Welcome to Afterburner on Flames Nation. If you're new here or are one of the regulars, if you enjoy the shenanigans on the channel, you can show some support to our Super Chat charity partner, Youth Centers of Calgary, if you're able. No pressure there. Youth Centers of Calgary is a place where kids are welcome and accepted as they are, a place where they get a break from the chronic stress that is the reality for a lot of their lives, and they can flourish through connection and fun. This was a fun one, Kent. There's a lot to get through. We've got the playoff picture, an out-of-town record that is absolutely worst case Ontario for Calgary. We've got a little prospect look, a Hawk and Lube cameo. But first, what struck you about this one? Is it too little too late for the Flames to be dominating teams?
Probably, but it's still good to see. The last game I covered was, I think, the Dallas game where they were dominant and they lost. So it's nice to see them go basically full 60 minutes, aside from I think one or two things in the first. But yeah, from the first shift all the way through, I thought they were the better team mostly. So, and they actually won this one, which is nice.
Man, imagine if Blake Coleman got this hot 5 games ago, even. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think the middle of the season kind of hit the Flames pretty hard this year. You actually had Wolf playing really well, but most of the skaters not. I've been looking into the numbers, and the big dip happened in February. That's the period where you started to see Backlund not play very well. They were talking about him um, playing through something, and then nobody could score for about 2 months there. So, but Backlund came back, and he looks more like early season Backlund and prime Backlund. So that's one of the reasons they were able to stay in the offensive zone so much tonight.
Yeah, Backlund was for sure driving a lot of it. It's the best, and we're assuming the healthiest he's been in some time in some of these more recent performances. But we'll get you through the recap right now. This one started off fast, just a couple of seconds in. The Flames don't even win the opening faceoff, and they still manage to bury 15 seconds in. It's Kadri and Sharangovich barreling in on a 2-on-1, and Kadri rips the game opener. And if you look at it, what's happening behind the play, it's a little bit of a lazy play from Jacob Trouba, Corey Perry 2.0 in spirit, not position. That kind of leads to that. A smart person told me that in that situation, you ideally want to get the puck and the body. But the problem is Trouba didn't get either of those things. And then Kadri rolled down the ice and put the puck in the net.
Yeah, it's a bad play all around. Like, it's a bad pinch. He doesn't take anything, and the guy's by him, and then he gives up immediately. Right? He just coasts the way through. So, he's excited when he's trying to hurt people, but he's not a great defender otherwise. Never been a big fan.
I liked him in Winnipeg. I'll say that. I know he does not have a great relationship with the Flames, but there have been a lot of
No.
games where I've been pro Jacob Trouba.
Well, he stunk on that play, so.
Yep, not a win. You put that one in the L. But right after this, too, Adam Klapka had a pretty big night. We'll talk more about him later. But there was one hit. He just lowered the boom on Lundstrom, but it didn't even hurt him. It just knocked off his helmet, and it was like, oh, he has 90s It Boy hair.
Yeah, that did surprise me. It's like, what is this, 92 skater haircut? I didn't know that was coming back.
Oh my gosh, is it like baby Leonardo DiCaprio? So good for him. Sorry you got hit. And the Flames were gobbling them up to start the first period. But then, like, Ducks started to fly after that. We had Terry and Strome just trading passes, and they tee up Olin Zellweger for the equalizer against his old teammate from the Everett Silvertips.
Sort of see it coming for Anaheim. Like, they actually weren't terrible tonight. They've got some horses now. They don't have that premier talent up front yet. And I think part of their problem is their blue line is good at that part of the game, but bad at the actual defending part of the game. At least they are right now.
Yeah, it's such a difference between watching Anaheim, where it's like, yes, there are horses, and watching San Jose, where it's like, yes, they are bad, but man, you're watching Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, and just how exciting that is, and you know what's coming.
Yeah, if you could combine those two teams, you probably really got something.
Yeah.
But they've neither of them are quite there yet for different reasons.
For sure. That takes us into the second on the penalty kill. Calgary has only had 5 shorthanded goal scorers this season. There's Huberdeau with 3, Kadri, Sharangovich, Mantha, get well soon, and now Blake Coleman off the pump fake. A Ducks player in this game on a partial break with no goal. So like
No
he was
problem.
around it. He was driving a lot of the action.
Yeah, that line could have had a couple more goals for sure. And Coleman's kind of impressing a lot recently, especially since Backlund came back. He had that goal disallowed the other game, so he has definitely been around it. They haven't been finishing, but yeah, it was good to see him get some tonight.
That'll stand as the game winner. And after that, the usual suspect, Kevin Rooney. Just when you think he's out, the fourth line goes to work. And Klapka, like around it again, he tries to go for the wraparound, and it just pops up into the slot for our old pal Kevin.
That's sniper shot from Runes. Nice shot, but kind of a Clapper fan to tell you the truth. And when the Flames picked him up, it seemed like a long shot. And when he got into games, it was like, well, he's big. You notice him because he's 6'8" or something, right? But the latter half of this season, especially the last couple months, there's a few nights where it's like this guy maybe he might be able to move up the rotation even.
Yeah, where have you seen the biggest development in Adam Klapka's game since him joining the Flames?
I think he's just catching up to the pace of play, right? And it's tougher when you're that big, but he has hands, which most guys that size don't really have. But you see him flash them every so often, and he's got a bit more confidence too. So he's taking the puck and he's making plays. He's driving the net. He's just more involved offensively, and then he's laying out big hits and acting big, which you should do when you're 6'8". But what will keep him in the NHL is having more than that one dimension, which he seems to be developing.
Yeah, that's no joke having a guy who can make some moves with the puck. Again, Adam Klapka is 6'8", 235 pounds, and just 24 years old. So this is by no means the end of the road for him. So there is a niche he could carve out here, and I don't think that Calgary fans would love to see a team that has no grit to its identity. There is always going to be an appetite for a player like that here.
Yeah, size is always a nice thing to have. You always want skill and speed as well. And I've always been a guy who I'm known as the anti-tough guy, anti-size. But the truth is like I just don't want size for size sake or toughness for toughness sake. You have to accomplish something on the ice, and he's turning into a player that does that.
Do I dare ask your opinion on Matt Rempe then?
Ugh. He shouldn't be in the league.
I think that is actually the shortest answer you've ever given me to a question, Kent. And that is saying something, man.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
Yeah, well, there's our Adam Klapka assist for the night, and then Blake Coleman wrapped it up. Sharangovich and Anderson picked up the helpers. 1:17 into the third period. How many times have we talked about the Flames not starting games or periods quickly, and then they get 2 quick ones tonight? And it was a little bit of a weak one for Coleman, but hey, maybe it's a little bit of goal karma for the Flames. So that's his 15th career multi-goal game. And they put the boots on the necks after that. It's 4-1 the final.
Yeah, I mean, the Flames haven't had a lot of easy goals this year, given their goal scoring problems. So, yeah, it's, they're owed a few easy ones, I think, at the end of the season here.
Yeah, I think it's this is the 13th time this season that Calgary has 4 or more goals, and that's not counting shootouts. Sportsnet had that stat up in the game, but I went back and like counted, and that's including 2 4-3 shootout wins, which I don't think that should count.
That's
so maybe
not really a
the
goal,
official
no.
stat, but yeah. Also should be noted that last goal was not scored against Gibson. That was against Lucas Dostal. Sorry. But anyway, towards the end of the second period, Pospisil was on a partial break. He got hauled down by Radko Gudas and ran into John Gibson, and he was doubled up and did not start the third period. And they said this is the 20th time in the last 3 seasons that Gibson has not finished a game, which is sad to see because he's so talented.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for him. He was kind of considered one of the best young goalies when he broke into the league, and he was for years. And then there's been a big dip, and it's part of it is the team got a lot worse, and part of it is he's been struggling with injuries for a long time.
And then we had Dustin Wolf, his 25th win of the season. He ends up saving 26 of 27. That's a .963 save percentage. As we mentioned, 3-0 against Anaheim. Just cool as a cucumber tonight. Actually, he had a lot of very good saves, but one of the best ones came in the third period with this pad stop that we'll take a look at.
Back the other way, though. Carlson, Saroon coming in 2-on-1 with Terry, who snaps it. Great save, Dustin Wolf. Back the other way, though. Carlson, Saroon coming in 2-on-1 with Terry, who snaps it. Great
yeah, let's watch it twice.
As well.
Worth a second look.
Yeah, he's been making it look easy, hasn't he?
Yeah, and this recent run hasn't been his best of the season. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been superhuman. So it is nice to see him put together a complete game like that.
Yeah, so even though they lost in his last start in Utah, his last 2 games do see him climb back above a .920 save percentage, which is nice to see considering he has wholeheartedly dragged the Flames out of the basement. I don't really want to
where they are. Yeah.
That would be a hard day to go down and like do the math and calculate like what an 888 save percentage would get the Flames in each of the games they won.
I did the math a while ago. I took where they were up until that point. It was 60 odd games. And I took, Markstrom's save percentage from last year and substituted it for Wolf's this year. And I think it gave them a goal differential of -50 or something. Like they'd be way down the league stats without that level of goaltending.
Yep. Super good. I'll have to give that one another look, or maybe we'll recrunch the numbers.
Yeah.
That's how it shook down tonight. That's our recap. We'll take the opportunity to shout out Derek Newman. The Derek Newman Group is CIR Realty. Buying or selling, let Derek do the work for you. You can email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca or call 403-619-6661 or visit dereknewmangroup.com. He does it all from the complimentary in-home staging consultation, whether it's your first home purchase or you've been in the game for a bit. He'll take the time to understand your goals. And on the selling side, he does the scouting report, the pre-listing consultation, and he'll help you every step of the way with the marketing plan and analysis of other comparable homes on the market. And he'll even go the extra mile to find the homes that aren't even officially out there yet, that will lose you a draft pick and get you even more punishment if you do that in the NHL, but not in the Wild West of real estate, baby. So if you're interested in buying or selling your home in the greater Calgary area, call Derek at 403-619-6661, and he'll make it easy for you. Is the mood light enough to look at the chase at this point? Is it time to take it
in it? Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. So what's that we hear in the distance? A franchise record for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
11 straight wins. A 5-4 overtime win against Pittsburgh. And it's a Calgary guy who scored 2 of the goals tonight. Airdrie, technically. But yeah, Jake Neighbors had 2 goals in that game to pretty much decimate Calgary's playoff hopes. Calgary's max points is now at 98. The Blues have jumped the Wild to take the first wild card spot with Minnesota Idol tonight, and Calgary's going to see them soon. We'll get to that in the road ahead. So Money Puck has the odds of Calgary making the playoffs at 13.9%. But if there's a number that's going to make you believe this year, it's 13.
There you go. Yeah, it's it
But
was 10%.
before we started the show, you said this really isn't even about trying to chase St. Louis at this point. What's going on with Minnesota?
The Blues are gone, right? We're not catching them. It's about Minnesota that's kind of sinking like a stone, which is the one reason. It's not that the Flames, like, they're 5 back, I think, with a game in hand, which is good, but Minnesota's also playing pretty lousy hockey. I think they're decimated by injury too, so that's the one reason Flames can have hope, because they're chasing a team that is really stumbling badly.
Yep, you've got it. Calgary is 5 points back with a game in hand against Minnesota. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10, coming off 2 straight overtime losses as well. So that makes an upcoming game between the Wild and the Flames that much more interesting. But you could even tell from the pregame interviews that the Flames posted today that all of the players are keenly aware of the situation that they're in. Like, you can control what you can control, but at the same time, you do need these other teams to collapse in on themselves like dying stars. Vancouver has done that. Like, Minnesota is in the process.
Yeah, you're going to have to play as well as you can, but you also need Minnesota to continue to stink. Like, you need a couple things to go right to make the playoffs at this point.
And that brings us to something that I'm glad that some people in the chat will get. Hit it. I'm so excited. Oh, no, wrong one. That was for the Hawk and Loop segment.
Sure it was.
I wasn't that excited for Hawk and Loop's tiny purple shorts, I swear.
I think you've been exposed. Well, Loop has too.
I'm a creep. All right. Well,
so do you want to try that again?
A little more than, yeah, let's do it again. So what I was actually thinking, folks, there's a very particular scene in Monty Python that I think sums up where the Flames are at right now, and hopefully we're going to see it. Hit the clip, I'm dying. All right, you can kill that there. That is the Flames right now, is it not?
It is. Yeah, they just refuse to die. And so are we gonna do the Loop video now?
I guess we might as well. And just so you all know, I wasn't sure if we were going to be allowed to play the clip. So I did email Yasmin and Kent highlighted scripts where we were going to do a dramatic reading if necessary. And I was really practicing my Monty Python accent in here.
I wasn't going to do that.
I'm not dead yet.
See, that's not bad.
It would have crushed. But anyway, to the more salacious of our clips, I suppose. It was a very happy day in Flames history. 50 years, is it now, since Håkan Loob became the first Swedish-born player to score 50 goals in an NHL season. And he's in Calgary and palling around with Lanny at practice this morning. But where this clip came from, the Flames used to let reporters cover their fitness testing. And that was a shot that aired on Sports at 11 of Håkan Loob just doing his VO2,
shorts
the bike. And just know that at one point in his lifetime, that distinguished man packed his suitcase in Sweden, picked up those shorts and said, great idea. Put them in the suitcase, brought it to Calgary, and put them on and said, I will show myself in front of my teammates and the world in these. I don't know if we should show it again, honestly.
He scored 50 goals. He can do what he wants.
This is also very true.
Yeah.
What did you think seeing him on the intermission report there?
It was fun. I was a huge Lube fan as a kid, and I hope that wasn't 50 years ago because I saw him do that. So,
Don't trust
yeah.
my math on that.
But yeah, it's always, he's such a character. He was such a fun player, very unique playing style and personality. So, whenever I see more Lube, I'm happy.
Did I say 50?
I think you said 50.
It's 37. So,
Okay. Yeah.
a lot better. I don't know what I was thinking of, but in any case, maybe the shorts distracted me. I think I've
so.
dug myself in the pit at this point, so I'm just gonna bury myself alive now.
I
cool to
assume
see him
you're watching
calendar and
that clip
practice and
on
planning.
your computer there. Yeah.
What's that?
I assume you're watching the clip on your computer there right now.
It's
Yeah.
none of your business. Do you think there's anyone on the current Flames roster who gets pulled onto the panel for those kinds of interviews 30 years from now, as opposed to the alumni who just get the ISO shot of them hanging out, enjoying a pop and sharing some laughs in a suite?
Dustin Wolf, maybe.
After 1 year, we're ready to say that. All right, not even.
I think he'll be here for a decade at least.
Any skaters? Any skaters who you think are
Ooh, that memorable.
worthy?
Maybe if they re-sign Anderson and he ends his career here. Yeah, another Swede.
Swedes only.
Michael Backlund, maybe.
I could see Michael Backlund. He's seen a lot.
Been here forever.
Yep. And he's a great talker and just a generally likable guy who's done a lot in the community. I could see it being him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we also had some big Flames news earlier in the day with Suniev, 20 years old, signing his ELC and reporting right away in Michael Backlund's suit. Good guy will give you the jacket off his back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. Not too surprised, I guess, but somewhat surprised that they signed him this early because it means he can't go back to college. Although he had a very good season, so maybe the player and the organization decided, let's turn you pro and get you taking that next step.
Yep. 20 goals, 38 points in 35 games with UMass. They just lost 2-1 in the NCAA Hockey Championship tournament. They lost to Western Michigan on Saturday. So from Russia, but played a couple seasons in the BCHL with the Penticton Vs. So he's a left shot winger, burning off the first year of his ELC by reporting to the Flames. It'd be interesting to see where is there anyone that you think he would suit playing with on the current roster, especially with some of the younger guys, maybe another NCAA player like Matt Coronado?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, where would you put him in the current lineup? Farabee hasn't really done much for a while. They might move him down. Maybe they play him with Coronado as well. Who's playing with Coronado? Is it Sharon Govich on that line right now? No, it's Frost and Huberdeau. But they've been playing really well together, so I'd be surprised if they broke them up. But maybe with Kadri, who seems to like to play with skilled kids for some reason.
Kadri just likes to elevate others.
Yeah.
A big step up. We'll take a look at a couple other prospects really quickly. We'll start in the OHL. Zane Parekh had 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points in 5 games with the Saginaw Spirit. They are down 3-1 against the Erie Otters. It's not looking great for them. Yeah, per Ryan Pike, if Saginaw is eliminated before Calgary's season is over, they can bring Zane Parekh to the NHL and not burn a regular recall. He can also be assigned to the Wranglers. It doesn't impact the CHL, NHL transfer agreement to have those junior kids come up for those playoff games. You have kids like Emmett Finney, Harrison Brunick, who are up in Detroit and Pittsburgh systems right now. We also have Jacob Battaglia moving on. He's got a goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Kingston moving on to the second round after completing a sweep of the Sudbury Wolves earlier tonight. And yeah, he's killing it. Then in the WHL, Eric Jameson in Everett scored the OT goal in game 2 for the Silver Tips. So they're actually down against Seattle right now, but you got draft eligible Braden Coots in on that one too. Axel Hertig and the Hitmen swept Hunter Lang and the Blades. So they're the first team in the West that's on to round 2. We've got Jaden Lipinski playing Vancouver tonight. And if you're just all in on the Gavin McKenna show, 14 points in 4 games.
Oh my God.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And they have a chance to eliminate Swift Current in Medicine Hat on Friday night. So it's been unbelievable to watch. And again, if you want to watch Eric Jameson, Axel Hertig, Gavin McKenna, anybody out West, it's all free on Victory Plus. Check it out.
That's right.
Are you down for some nonsense?
Let's do it.
Okay. I've heard a lot of complaints about Radko Gudas's skates. What do you think of them? The white skates.
Good for him. Yeah, I support them.
Good for him. You support them.
Yeah.
All right.
Be different.
Well, chat, please.
Be yourself.
Share your thoughts on Radko Gudas's white skates. So I'm going to list some unique hockey style choices, and you're going to tell me if they are better or worse than Gudas's skates.
Okay.
So, round 1, white skates, better or worse than Sergei Fedorov's floppy Nike skate tongue?
Better.
Why?
That always bothered me for no reason. It was just distracting.
All right. Round 2, yellow laces.
Better than yellow laces. Yeah, that's obnoxious.
What's wrong with the yellow laces?
No.
All right. All right. Thanks for backing up your choice. Beautiful.
Hey, this is all subjective fashion stuff, so I can be.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Nothing but love and light to everyone who tries to take a risk fashion-wise. Better or worse than Ryan Smith's metal shaft wooden blade?
Oh yeah, worse. That's classic.
Worse.
Yeah.
Pinder's in the chat. Yellow laces guy. That's because somebody pissed on them, pal.
Yes.
All right. On to turtlenecks. Yes or no?
Turtlenecks. Bringing them back.
Yes. All right. Yellow tinted visor. Our finale.
It's just silly. It's ridiculous. Why?
Pike's piping in. We might need to turn this into a bracket. Pike piping in. Turtlenecks. Yes.
There we go.
I would prefer a turtleneck if it's a dickie like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, where it's like painfully obvious. And I guess, yeah, we did kind of breeze over the yellow visor. So please, like, final thoughts on the yellow visor.
It's just stupid. I don't understand. Why are you doing that?
But is it any different than Pospisil having the dark tinted visor?
Yeah, it is. It's more obnoxious. It's just silly.
Obnoxious.
Who's the last guy who did that? Who's the last player that had that? It was a defense.
Oh my gosh, that should be some like trivia, like McTavish being the last guy to wear glasses.
Wear no helmet. Yeah.
We need someone to make a visor that's like those ugly, the ugly sunglasses that kids wear now, the Pit Vipers. We need Pit Viper visors.
See, that would be awesome.
You'd look like villains in an 80s sci-fi movie. It'd be fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
We left out my favorite fashion choice, Cooperalls.
Oh, the pants?
Actually, technically, they don't wear Cooperalls in the NHL.
That's right.
Cooperall is a catch-all term for long pants, the same way that all ice surfacing machines are not Zambonis. In the NHL, they wore CCM Pro Packs.
Right. That's right.
I hate that I know it.
Yeah. Why do you know that?
I went down a rabbit hole one day, and the ins and outs of doing my taxes and mortgages never stuck in my head, but that information did. This is what's going to
Doesn't seem
happen
very
when
useful.
my mind goes. One day my kids are going to be around me and I'm not going to remember their names. And I'll be like, they
Yep.
didn't wear Cooperalls. I'll have Cooperalls,
Okay, Grandma.
Monty Python, and Hawk and Lube's friggin' shorts. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Tough. All right. So overall, I guess where would you say that Radko Gudas rates on that scale? Is it a flop?
Is it
great?
Is it a 1 to what's the scale?
Is it
1 to 5,
forgettable
1 to 10?
next to our other contestants?
Yeah, it's fairly forgettable. I'd say it's. I didn't even notice he had white skates. Honestly, I don't really care.
Maybe I was watching the game with the wrong crowd then. Maybe that's where we're at. Oh, man. All right. We're going to get to the road ahead in just a second here, but it is brought to you by our buddies at Platinum Mitsubishi. They've got a big thing going on. They have the 2025 Outlander Launch Barbecue event. It's coming up April 12th, 11 in the morning to 4. It's like Stampede Pancake Breakfast, but a few months earlier, and you get barbecue, which is always amazing. Whole family event. They've got the food, the face painting for the kids, a scavenger hunt, raffle prizes, so much more. And it's a great chance to explore the latest Outlander, meet the friendly team, including special appearances from, our buddies Pinder and Pike. Maybe a wild Gould will appear too. You can enjoy a day of entertainment and community spirit. So don't miss on the fun and come on out. RSVP. Tell them these losers sent you.
I think a Mike sighting is pretty likely.
Yeah, I'll just pop out of the bushes.
Yeah, like Homer.
Yeah. We got Pike here. Every appearance I make is a special appearance. That's true. Always a treat to see you, Pike. You still have to sign your book for me.
Mm.
All right, and that is going to take us to the road ahead. Scrolling. We've got 7 games left. Do these matter? Maybe.
A lot.
Probably not so much. I don't know. Like, are you ready to totally call it after Vegas on Saturday at the Dome?
At this point, it depends on what the Flames do and what Minnesota does. So I'm just going to watch those two teams for the next 7 days, and then it might be over by then.
Yeah, Vegas has been straight up stop. He's already dead all season. So that's Saturday, the marquee start, 8 o'clock. And then they've got a mini road trip to California. It's the Sharks for the second last time this season on Monday. Then you've got the rematch against the Ducks on Wednesday and Friday. That's the big one we're going to be watching. That's the Wild in Calgary.
Yep.
The classic 4-pointer, as they say. Let's see who they have before that. Always intrigued to see how some of these road trips shape up. All right, so Minnesota will have Calgary on the first half of a road back-to-back. Unfortunate timing for Calgary. Pretty good for Vancouver, who has them on the Saturday. So that'll be a quick turnaround for the Wild. They'll be coming off a 2-game homestand. They have San Jose on Wednesday.
Yeah, if Minnesota doesn't beat, at least Vancouver and San Jose in that series, then they probably don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, and as CeeLo pointed out in the chat there, Minnesota does have Dallas 2 on Sunday. So they're certainly not out of the woods yet either. They're trying to hang on for dear life. Of course, Vegas is in and Calgary has them 2 more times. So there's a chance that it all comes down to that makeup game against LA, but
probably not, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll be realistic about it. So that's gonna take us to Bet365. Here's what we got on tap tomorrow. So Minnesota and the Islanders. We've talked a lot about how like the New York Rangers have been messy off the ice. Vancouver has been days of our lives, dynasty level. Yeah, drama mama off the ice. But New York is getting up there. Of course, we've had Anthony Duclair, who wasn't at practice today after getting called out by Patrick Waugh. Waugh eviscerated him. And there are other coaches who will be hard on guys, but you notice that like a lot of them will kind of do it in a tactful way where they're kind of framing it as like, we know that there's more that this guy can give and we're frustrated that he's not giving it. Anthony Duclair just got lit on fire.
Yeah, you really usually don't have a coach come out and just be like, this guy sucks to the media. Almost never see it put so bluntly.
A coach who is famously considerate of other people's feelings.
Never.
So who are you taking in that one?
That's a tough one. Yeah, because you're right. Both are really battling for their last playoff spot. I'll go Minnesota.
I will go New York Islanders.
There we go. Split it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's brought to you by our buddies at Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. We all know it. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Code Nation to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. And please, please, please play responsibly. Anything else you wanted to touch on before we get into some thoughts and questions?
Not really. I think a lot of us are still kind of waiting to see what Frost and Farabee are. They still haven't really. Frost had the night where he's dangling through people but still not accomplishing much. Farabee's just kind of there, and I'm sure the organization's kind of waiting to see what they have too. And they might have to play out the season and just kind of reset for both those players and just kind of wait for next season because neither of them have really staked a claim as to I'm definitely part of the future of this organization yet, but it's early.
Completely. I talked to Tyler and Frank on DFO about it, and it was like, I mean, it's not Calle Yarncroke trade deadline levels of bad. Like you can see that there's spots where they're starting to get into the rhythm of how this team works and its systems, but obviously it's not going to totally change the trajectory of what the Flames are able to do offensively at this point in the season. And like sometimes it does take time. So it might be more a factor in seeing what they can do after a full camp and just more time getting to know this coaching staff and how things are going to work. So it's not dead and done. It's never going to pan out to anything, but it might not be the difference maker down the stretch here.
Yeah, people actually don't remember Tyler Toffoli came in that same year. And he wasn't actually very good either with the Flames. He had a couple games at the start where he looked like a player.
Yeah, it was a hot start, which probably changes the way people think about it. But
but he was not good for the rest of that season or in the playoffs. And then the next season, he was great, but he was quite awful actually for most of his time with Calgary, his first season. So it could be something like that, right?
Yeah. No, those ones didn't pay off too much, those moves. I see Cambo in the chat there. The percentage now is around 13 or so percent. That was Money Puck's projection there. Oh, big stretch in the background.
I'm surprised he's still awake.
I know. I think I beg you to bring your dog on every single time, and he so rarely makes the cameo.
Yeah, it's usually a bit late for him. But
strict bedtime, hey?
He falls asleep at a certain time most nights, right?
Yeah, the games will do that to you sometimes when they're not scoring 3 or more, which is a lot of nights. Before we get to thoughts and questions, wanted to shout out Origin Brewing and Malting Company. The Hiltons are a 5th-generation family farm. Crazy to see. That's so rare anywhere in Canada now, but they've been growing the
Yeah.
highest quality barley in the world for more than 40 years, and they use the highest quality of that barley to brew Origin beer, blending tradition and innovation for a truly unique experience that proudly celebrates Alberta farmers. They grow beer. Barley sandwiches, so good. That's got the homegrown lager, the Mexican lager, the Pioneer IPA, Lazy Days Haze, Hazy IPA, Rockyford Raspberry, so many good names. Prickly Pear Guava Goes,
I'd
Backdraft
try that
Red
one.
Ale, Last Post Brown Ale. Unreal stuff.
Good lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
top one. They offer $5 local delivery on any order of $50 or more within 50K of downtown Calgary. You can place your order on Origin's online store at originbrewing.ca. Click the shop button and browse through the selection of quality craft beverage and merchandise. I see the hats around everywhere. Like everywhere.
Really?
Yep, they're around. All right, Yasmin, what do we have for questions and comments? And buddies, this is last chance to get some in here. Oh, thank you to Neil Melvin, $25 for
Oh,
Youth Centers
nice.
Calgary. Proud of the boys tonight. We'll be in the stands April 13th from Manitoba to cheer them on. Long way to go for a
you.
good time.
Yeah, I hope they play well that night.
Oh, seriously, if they don't, we'll
Yeah.
have words. We'll have words for them for you.
Yeah.
Cami and Ken, who do you start Saturday night, Wolf or Vladar?
Wolf.
Yeah. You have no other
Easy.
option now, unless he gets completely lit up.
Yeah, and Vladar's been better recently, but his body of work in the NHL is just mediocre. But Wolf is an up and coming superstar, and you play him.
Yep, he'll give you your best chance right now. They'll play him as much as he can.
Yep.
Anything else, friends, before we wrap this thing up? Oh, Huska getting fired? Yeah, absolutely not.
Why are we talking about firing Huska at this point?
Yeah. Don't know why he would. Yeah, that'll be my short answer. No.
Nobody expected the Flames to win anything this year, so the roster is what it is. They're not scoring a lot, but they're competitive, and the coach is doing pretty much what this organization expected him to do. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that'll pretty much do that for us. Shout out Cambo. Shout out Blake Coleman. 2 goals as the Flames defeat the Anaheim Ducks 4-1 to keep the very slim playoff hopes alive. Again, numbers not great, but they're going to keep us watching to the end, and it looks like we're still going to have some entertaining hockey that sees the Flames pull out some wins, potentially some young guys getting in here. So no reason to turn off the TV. Keep joining us on Afterburner, Barn Burner. There's still lots ahead. So have a great night, everybody.